So some possible activities that you're going to hear about in more detail that actually align well with what we know about sound professional learning are things like lesson study or co-planning, co-teaching. So we've seen situations where lesson studies were done, let's say, across grades 7, 8, 9, where there's a particular concept and we look at how might we design a lesson to address that in grade 7 and grade 8 and grade 9. Okay, let's go into one another's classrooms and let's see what does this actually really look like. And let's focus on the student learning within that classroom, not so much just on the teacher moves, but the teacher moves that help to facilitate the learning. And in terms of co-teaching, co-planning, we all have ownership of that lesson. It's not just so-and-so who's delivering the lesson where all the focus is. And that pulls in some of those key components that we talked about. It has that collaborative work, it has that focus on student thinking, it also has a focus on the curriculum, and as I described it, if we move 7, 8, 9, it's got the continuum of learning and how that concept's built over time, what the different vocabulary is that's used. Another might be working together to examine student work. That might be a nice place to start. Lesson study might be a big undertaking. But maybe we'll find a task, let's design this task, let's all try it in our classroom, and let's come back and let's examine the student thinking and let's look at the student work. Again, that has some key components, the collaborative work, the focus on student thinking, and because we're focusing on the math, we're actually focusing on curriculum. And I've just got a third one for you. You'll hear a lot more from some of the other school teams. Another might be a book study. You probably have heard about people using a variety of different books as you heard the quick busking yesterday, that they might have been holding up a book, oh, this worked well for us, we grabbed an activity from this book. But the nice thing about doing a book study, and sometimes a book sounds a bit daunting, you could start off with a pamphlet study. Often the ministry puts out monographs or a series called Paying Attention To. I really like the one that's called Paying Attention to Algebraic Reasoning. I've used that many times. I've even used it just within one setting to do a jigsaw to look at what does that look like. So sometimes a book sounds a bit too much as a starting point, but you might want to work with one of those. It also brings in what's called that knowledgeable other. So it gives you new ideas. Sometimes you need new ideas, and I'm hoping that yesterday you got some new ideas, just a spark. Sometimes you hear something and it sparks an idea you already had, or you say, oh yeah, that's kind of like something I'm already doing. So it just kind of rejuvenates you in terms of that.